Hello everybody, welcome to another daily news dose. And before I proceed, I'm also published on Rumble and I'm on the socials here. So let's get started. It seems that AMD, the AGESA, this version of BioWare's firmware, because we're going to get a lot of numbering here, seems to have some issues with issues regarding Expo settings or something like that. I'm not going to mention a lot of BIOSes here numbers because there is like 1.0.0.7, then the previous one, and then we have this one. But yeah, they are working on it. That's my main take that I wanted to pass through. Even though there is no issues with the CPU thing, it's solved with this one. However, the only bug that seems to have it's like the Expo settings doesn't seem to work pretty well, but they are going about it on that one. And I think in the next week or so we might get the new revision. We are not sure which kind of AGESA version it's going to be named, because there are internal naming here and there, but they are going to fix the Expo settings, and with that they maintain, of course, the thermal limits, safety so nobody gets their CPUs burned out. Basically, this is it. They are working on it. I hope the sooner the better. But yeah, don't freak out if some Expo settings or memory or the DRAM is not functioning proper. It's mainly because of this bug of the AGESA version. In the news in hardware, supposedly Samsung, they claim they can overtake TSMC in 5 years. This is a statement from the Foundry of Samsung, which is good because at the moment we only have TSMC as like the main leading foundries in terms of anything from chipsets for everything, CPUs, cell phones, basically any electronic that makes any kind of chip. Basically, a lot of them go to this company. Even though we have Samsung, their cell phones, they are investing a lot. I think it's the Axios one. They are investing a lot on those foundries also. We are seeing a lot of movements here and there on like building new foundries overseas from their original countries, being Samsung Korea and TSMC in China, Taiwan. But yeah, I hope they catch up sooner a little bit, at least catching up a little bit sooner, so we have more competition. The more competition in any market, the better it is, because supposedly then you have to lower a little bit the prices of in this case the foundry on the wafers, and that will supposedly trickle down on the consumer, like cheaper prices with the same quality. This is what we need. I hope they catch up and at least overtake. It's, for me, it's either way, as long as we get good chips and at cheaper price. It's always better than what we have now, which is basically domination from TSMC in this case. Now we're going to get some gaming stuff. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, supposedly it's been patched over the time, and there is like this Tom's Hardware, like big article. They are going about a lot of stuff from different GPUs, different CPUs, different configurations, and trying to get in several worlds to see how the performance is going. But it's still some stuttering, not that not worse as it was at launch. It's the better I can put it. Still, the freaking DRM system on this one doesn't let, for example, testers to test several GPUs on the same day. If you change your configuration, either GPU or CPU, like 5 times, it will block you for playing the game, which is completely insane. And yeah, and the fact that the DRM is it's the de novo one, it has known issues of throttling performance on games. it's a little bit of a hog on performance, especially if you have like a lower if you have a lower GPU or lower system in terms of performance. It can impact a little bit on the frame rate and bring some other issues in terms of performance regarding your system. And unfortunately, sometimes people just go to the high seas and get the things without this kind of de novo system. It never worked. I'm not condoning, but it is what it is. This kind of systems never worked. I remember being on before basically the internet. We got, or the early days of the internet, you got the CDs, the CD-ROMs with the games. There's always somebody that you know that is going to sell you like the cracked game, even before all of this. And supposedly this DRM stuff supposedly prevented, but it was only a matter of days, even in those days, like almost 20 years ago, that you can go around it in one way or another. I think, yes, there is, I understand the importance of DRMs, mainly to try to avoid the best they can, like cracked games or pirated games. Or any kind of software, but at the expense of somebody that buys legally the software, being with the performance issues because of the software itself doesn't let the engine get free rein, and the system gets a little bit overwhelmed sometimes with this kind of software. It's not good. It's not good. But yeah, I try not to ramble too much. And lastly, we got Atomic Heart. First DLC supposedly is going to launch now in the summer. It's part of the pack. It's like 4 DLCs that we should have for this game. There is no like specific. It's just like a teaser, like 20 seconds or something like that. It's one of the images from the teaser. It seems to be like an underwater experiment facility of some sort. I didn't get spoiled in these games. I've been trying my best to avoid being spoiled in any games that I didn't play in the last 6 years, and sometimes it makes it a little bit difficult to talk about the games itself and give my opinions, because I don't know, I avoid knowing anything. Even like the most famous games, especially from this 2-3 years, for example, I don't know anything about Elden Ring. I don't know anything special. I know The Last of Us, it came out, but the Atomic Heart, I don't know anything. It's like the marketing material before the game launches, and then I keep myself out of any spoilers, and I managed to do that pretty decently in the last few years, because I really want to, when I upgrade my PC and start playing, I don't want to get spoiled and try and almost make myself fake an emotion when I discover something on the games itself. And of course, for personal, in terms of personal experience, I prefer to not get spoiled, unless it's something I know I'm not going to play. Then I'll just curious about the story or how the game plays to give my opinion on something. But yeah, usually I keep myself out of spoilers. I'm going to wrap up for today with some gaming deals. Black Mesa Definitive Edition, it launched like a few years now. This is basically the remake of Half-Life 1. If not mistaken, this is the one that was made by modders, and it got the support from Valve, and it's a pretty decent one. Got a lot of updated visuals, of course, and I think some mechanics were tweaked, so it compares itself to a little bit more to Half-Life 2 at the time, because this was like a project that was on the making for a long time. That's why it doesn't seem like very recent to a certain point. But yeah, it's for all intents and purposes, it's got overwhelming positive reviews all over the place, and it's a recommendation. It's like 75% off, like $4 for this game. And it's a seminal gameplay at the time, even when it launched, regarding first-person shooters at the time and adventure games, and even the narrative tools that they used were very good. Next one we got here, Heartspace Shipbreaker. It's a very positive. I think it's from an indie game, Blackbird Interactive, but it's published from Focus. It's like you're on the space. You're like basically dismantling like spacecrafts and in outer space, and you got the physics stuffs here and there. You got the missions, you got the loot. I'm not sure very well how it works. If it has like an RPG elements here, so you can buy better tools or better stuff. But it's a very positive game. And it's for $20. I think it might well worth it. The reviews that I saw at the time were very good. So I think it's if you like this kind of almost like a simulation thing with some physics to play around with, I think it's well worth your time. And I'm going to wrap up with gaming deals here. Citizen Sleeper, I managed to cover this game, recommended like a few weeks ago. I think it was at a promo also. Now it's 33% off, like $13. It's nothing, and it's a very kind of tabletop, and with the dice mechanic here, which is always good to have like a twist of this. It's got like this critical failure stuff and everything. I think it's an enjoyable game. I always like this kind of games, so you can spend your time, think about what you want to do and don't want to do, and how you're going about it, and then we have this RNG god thing here. But yeah, this is it, guys. I'm going to wrap up for today with my GoGetFundMe for me to upgrade my PC to get better and more content for my private clients, and start doing some also some video editing for them and other video stuff creation, because they are asking me for a long time now. And of course in my free spare time doing the daily videos, getting some do some scripted content with some editing there, so I can go in some deep dives in some stuff that I like to talk about, and of course resuming my gameplays, and in the near future maybe doing some live streams here and there. And yeah, basically that's it, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you in the next one. So till then, Kunamy Master out.